I don't need you, Teofimo. Greetings and salutations. What is going on, Renee Box Young? Welcome. Thank you so much for liking, subscribing, sharing, showing your support, commenting, in the comment sections of the videos, tuning into lives, just showing your support. Subscribers since day one. Thank you so much, man, with all my heart. Recent subscribers as well, man. This is a platform, where we discuss, critique, analyze, and simply discuss the sport of boxing and just talk about it. Simple as that, man. Don't complicate life. You know what I'm saying? Everybody, welcome. Thank you so much. I definitely want to talk about this. As Devin Haney, man, highly skilled fighter, at 135, you know what I'm saying? And, I like this guy. I really like him, WBC champ. Let's get that straight. WBC champ at 135 division. And I want to get right to this, man. He's talking about he doesn't need Teofimo Lopez, and let's see why he says it. Boom. Let's go here. Boxing News 24. You can go ahead. Link in the description. You already know. I don't need you, Teofimo. I don't need you. Let's check why he says this. It talks about, lots of quotes here. He was interviewed. Check out the, article in your free time if you can, okay? But this is what Haney says. He says, I feel like I'm being ducked. The fans know, it's right here. The fans know I'm the real WBC champion. Exactly. And if you want the real undisputed champion and you want the world not to question you because that's what it's about, you see what I mean? So this is what Haney's saying here. Said Haney to Behind the Gloves, etc., blah, blah. Okay, so I just want to get directly more to his quotes, okay? He says, Devin Haney says, it's great to be compared to a legendary era in boxing, but we got to fight each other to make it set in stone that we are the new era. Facts. And then he says, we are the new guys. We are the new four kings. We got to fight each other to make exciting fights and show the world that we're the truth. Man, that's so many facts right there, ladies and gentlemen. I personally think Haney, is really about what he's talking about. I've said this about several other fighters. I just made a video. Go check it out. It's about, Virgil Ortiz Jr., what he said, that he wants to fight the best. He wants, you see, it's interesting how, this article just came out, I said yesterday, I just said it, or whenever you listen to this, maybe days ago, weeks ago, I don't know, whenever you listen to this video. I said this just recently in the Virgil Ortiz video, Virgil Ortiz saying that he wants to fight the best. And I explained in that video how, we have a new breed of fighters, ladies and gentlemen. This is amazing, and I love it, how they really want to fight the best out there. They want to make these fights. They want to go in and fight the best. They want to prove their worth, and they want to show and showcase, they already showcased it, but what I'm saying is they want to show, their abilities and skills and talents that they have in the ring against the best out there. And I think that Devin Haney is one of those few that really want it. You know what I'm saying? Along with the several other, breed of fighters out there, this new breed that's coming up, and it's interesting how I just talked about this in a recent video. So, let's continue here. And I think he's really honest about what he's saying, okay? He says here, he continues to say, check this out, ladies and gentlemen. I just feel like I'm getting ducked. Wow. You see what I'm saying here? So, you can continue reading, and then we continue his quote. I want to focus more on his quotes. They're showing me that they're not quick to call me out. Facts. If guys were quick to say, give me Haney, then I would feel like I got to prove something. You see there? And he says, I still feel like I have to prove something, but I feel like I would have to prove something more. Check this out, ladies and gentlemen. Look what he says here. The only guy that has been calling my name out is Rawley. And what do I have to gain from Rawley, said Devin. So, yeah, I agree. Rawley, I don't really, whatever, it is what it is. I think that Rawley has a lot more to prove still. You know what I'm saying? We already know about the Marinas fight against Rawley. He completely got, that was a big robbery. Man, Marinas got robbed. It's just so sad. So sad, and it is what it is, man. So Rawley, I think he got things to prove. He has to, prove more, and he has to grow. He has a lot more to grow on concerning Rawley, but what he's saying is that that Rawley's the guy who's really calling him out and stuff like that. So he continues the quote here. He says, Teofimo said he was going to send me and Cambosos a contract. I think he said that, if I'm not mistaken, on Instagram or something like that. Also, I don't know, man. Teofimo, I don't know, man. I'm kind of doubting him to a certain extent now, said Haney. Okay, so let's continue. He says, Teofimo says one thing and then says another thing in a totally different interview. That's facts, okay? That is facts. Yeah, and he continues to say here, just yesterday he said I have to fight Rawley. I think he's referring to Teofimo, telling telling Haney that he needs to fight Rolly to get him when I don't need Teofimo to become a star. Teofimo is not someone that I need. I still make more money, okay, et cetera, et cetera. He just continues talking, okay. So, getting back to what he's saying here, Devin Haney, that Teofimo says one thing and says, something totally different in a different interview. That's I think that's one of the risks, I guess we can say. Look at Eddie Hearn. I reference him a lot because why? When it comes to these things, because the more you're in front of a cameraman, it seems like the more you can, maybe contradict yourself to a certain extent. I'm not saying all the time, right? And not with everybody, of course. But, Teofimo right now is getting a lot of limelight and, he deserves it. I'm not saying he doesn't, and I definitely give him respect, and I gave him his due credit, definitely, and I constantly have said that on my platform. Him beating Lomachenko is awesome. Him beating, just the fights that he has been through recently. So I definitely, give Teofimo all the credit, and he's getting all the limelight, and that's awesome. But it seems like he's just, I tend to incline more towards Haney. That Teofimo probably doesn't really want to fight him right now, you know what I mean? This Cambosos thing, the contract thing, you know what I mean? Y'all know the story there. So it just seems like that. Now, Teofimo, he has claimed, if I'm not mistaken recently, that after he gets through Cambosos, he wants to arrange a fight with Devin Haney. And in this article, I just don't recall exactly where it is. Wait, just go ahead and read it in your free time. He doesn't believe it, okay? Devin Haney, if I'm not mistaken in this article around here, I just don't remember where it was. He said that he doesn't believe that, Teofimo wants to fight Devin Haney after he gets through Cambosos. And I agree with Devin Haney, man. I just don't see it, man. If Teofimo Lopez goes and fights this guy Cambosos, wherever the heck they're going to fight in Australia or whatever, according to Teofimo, he wants to come back and fight Devin. But I don't know, man. I mean, if Teofimo really does, and what did I say recently? I've been saying it on my channel, ladies and gentlemen. I just, it's hard for me to see these kinds of big fights that we want to see made, come to reality, come to fruition. It's just hard for me to see a lot of them happening, or a few of them, or several of them, whatever. Like I said, time and time again, we have been seeing great fights. We have been seeing, I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying the ride, but at the same time, there are several fights that need to be made, and they're not being made. And I tend to agree, I reiterate, I tend to agree with Devin Haney and what he's saying, that, it seems like just they don't want to fight him. And it's not Fantasyland when we say these things. The video I just posted recently, ladies and gentlemen, about, Jaron Ennis. I mean, Jaron Ennis, boots. Amazing fighter, man. And, his team recently said, and the source comes from Showtime, some Showtime guy, whatever, employee, whatever you want to call him, right? Check the video out. I just posted it recently. That, Jaron Ennis, according to the source, 15 welterweights approximately don't want to fight Ennis. So this is not Fantasyland, what we're seeing as far, we can go on with other names, Rigondeaux, you can go on with, Gary Russell Jr., several fighters out there. It seems like to a certain extent, maybe being frozen out. I don't know. I really hope, this is another point I want to talk about, I hope that Haney doesn't become another Demetrius Andrade. Why do I say this? Haney works with Hearn, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, Devin Haney has his own promotional company. If I'm not mistaken, his dad, Bill Haney, salute, amazing, father coach, is in charge of Devin Haney Promotions, if I'm not mistaken, CEO, what have you. But they're working in conjunction with Eddie Hearn. I don't know the details of that deal they have going on or whatever, how they work, but I just hope that Devin Haney doesn't become as another Demetrius Andrade. I hope Devin Haney doesn't become as another Terrence Bud Crawford in the welterweight division. As far as with Bud Crawford, you already know my stance on that. That's just my stance, in my opinion. It is what it is. I hope he doesn't become, Devin Haney as another, Rigondeaux, as another Gary Russell, as another, etc. Ortiz, King Kong Ortiz in the heavyweight division. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't think that, King Kong Ortiz doesn't want to fight the big names out there. He fought Wilder twice, ladies and gentlemen. I think that says more than enough right there, with King Kong Ortiz. A lot of people are ignoring him. Heavyweights don't want to fight him because of this foolish excuse. Oh yeah, he's too old, and what am I going to gain from him? Bunch of nonsense with these foolish excuses with some heavyweights out there that haven't wanted to face or haven't wanted to fight Luis King Kong Ortiz. And the same, we hear these excuses in other divisions concerning potential opponents, that don't face amazing competition that's out there with the names and with those names I just mentioned right now. I hope, listen please, ladies and gentlemen, I hope Shakur Stevenson doesn't become also as a Demetrius Andrade. It's happening a lot, ladies and gentlemen. We're seeing this a lot where you have fighters that are really talented, really skilled, and it really does seem that just fighters out there don't want to face that kind of competition because they are real competition and they are threats. I personally believe, and I've said it before on a different platform, I've said it before, that I think Haney, I've said it, I've explained it and broken it down when it's strategically, skill-wise, style-wise. I explained that, Devin Haney, he's a threat to Teofimo Lopez. He's a threat to Ryan Garcia. He's a threat to Tank Davis. He's a threat to, name the names you want, whatever, 135. Devin Haney, ladies and gentlemen, I've said it for a while, more than about 2 years ago. I referenced that live session many times. At that time, my platform wasn't as big as it is now, and it's still small, right? But it's growing, thankfully, thanks to you, And Devin Haney is a threat, ladies and gentlemen. He has skills, and I personally believe in Devin Haney and what he's saying, that he's being avoided, ducked, whatever you want to call it, I think he's being avoided. And I just don't want to see Devin Haney end up as another Demetrius Andrade, as another, the names I just mentioned. It would be super sad to see that, and this is another point I want to point out. I've said it time and time again, that it's sad, fighters have to go through things and it's not easy sometimes. It's not easy to be a fighter. It's because of this. Because when you're highly skilled and talented, sometimes a lot of fighters don't want to face that. Teams don't want that kind of pressure, don't want that, challenge. Maybe even promoters do that. Oh, you know what? That opponent, he's going to be tough for you. Go the easier route. Make more money this way. You'll make the same amount of money almost, and it's easier for you. Go ahead and go for that route. And the fighter might be more inclined to opt for that rather than facing the real competition out there. Bob Arum, if I'm not mistaken, just recently said it. Out of the multitude of interviews out there in different platforms, talked about, it depends on the situation, but sometimes I'm just rephrasing what he has mentioned, that it's best for fighters to go for the lower risk. And for more reward. Low risk, high reward, ladies and gentlemen. You already know that phrase. And it's sad how fighters got to go through this, especially highly talented fighters. I hope, listen, ladies and gentlemen, please, that's another name, I just mentioned. I hope Jerome Ennis doesn't end up as another Demetrius Andrade. But at the same time, we see that this new breed of fighters, they really want the smoke. And that Devin Haney, he himself is speaking it up. He's speaking out about this. Teofimo Lopez really does have to fight Devin Haney. These guys have to fight each other. You already know what, I guess, quote unquote, the fabulous four, they say, right? They got to fight each other. And I'm just focusing right now on Devin Haney and giving, exemplifying his situation with other fighters, just to exhaustify my point of view concerning what I'm talking about with Devin Haney. Teofimo has to fight this guy. He has to fight the WBC champ at 135. He has to. What else can I say? How is Teofimo going to look? If he walks through Kambosos, which I know he's going to do. I'm sure Kambosos, to a certain extent, is going to give a fight. But we know what's going to happen. We know what's going to happen. Kind of like Canelo versus Yildirim. Go to Twitter and whatever source, whatever platform, media, whatever profile put on Twitter about Canelo and Yildirim is official now or whatever. And the responses in that post is just a bunch of negativity, and fans don't want to see that. Fight fans don't want to see Canelo versus Yildirim because we know what's going to happen. Canelo's going to walk through Yildirim. I understand it's a mandatory. Okay, I get it. But my point in saying this is we know what's going to happen. We know what's going to happen between Teofimo and Kambosos. It's going to walk through him. You know, Teofimo is just highly skilled. He's levels above it. He's levels above Kambosos. All due respect to Kambosos. So, you know, after Teofimo walks through Kambosos, what is he going to do next? He has to fight Devin Haney, ladies and gentlemen. He has to prove if he is, you know, who's undisputed here. Who's undisputed? Nobody's undisputed at 135, ladies and gentlemen. I don't care, you know, with all due respect, whatever. It's my opinion. I don't care what Mauricio Sulaiman says. You know, facts are facts, and we know what's going on here. Okay? I can care less what he says. Okay? I just, you know, politics confuse everything. I've been saying this for a while. This is way before. I've been saying this way before, you know, I've been saying this way before all these interviews with Mauricio Sulaiman. You know, ever since he'd been coming out and saying, oh yeah, you know, Teofimo's not undisputed. And then, you know, a few days later, no, he is undisputed. And then he himself said, yeah, I understand it's confusing, but we're going to work it out. We're going to work it, you know, in 1 or 2 years, we'll see how it all works out. I mean, what are you talking about? What kind of explanation is that? It's just weird, man. I mean, so I've been saying this way before all these interviews with Mauricio. And, you know, I've been saying all this belt nonsense is confusing. Just too many, you already know the story, okay? So facts are facts. Right now at 135, there's no undisputed champ, okay? And I can care less what that guy says, all due respect, okay? So why am I saying this? Because Teofimo, after walking through Kambosos, I repeat, has to go back and fight Devin Haney. Go fight him, bro. Go fight him, champ. I'm not negating Teofimo being a champ. He's a champ. You know, he's a great fighter. And this is what we want to see. And it's sad to hear. It's sad to hear, ladies and gentlemen, that Devin Haney is saying that, you know, he's being avoided. And there are several fighters in that situation. And I really hope he doesn't end up, I repeat, as a Demetrius Andrade. And as all these other names I just mentioned that look like, to a certain extent, they're in the situation as Demetrius Andrade. It's quite early to a certain extent to say that, but it looks like they're headed towards that, ladies and gentlemen. And it's just so sad to see that amongst fighters, especially with the talented skills that, you know, with amazing skills that, you know, Devin Haney has. You cannot go around it. We cannot go around this. Teofimo, after going Kambosos, one more time, I got to say it. You got to go back and fight Devin Haney, man. How are you going to look, bro? How are you going to look if you don't do that? If you just jump up to 140. I mean, I respect Teofimo with the amazing, you know, win over Lomachenko, over Comey. You know, the name slipped up my mind. I was going to, you know, slipped out of my mind. I was going to say it earlier. Against Richard Comey. Amazing win, man. I got nothing to say against that. Teofimo, man, respect. But how is it going to look if he just, you know, comes back after beating Kambosos, just, jumps up to 140? I mean, I understand, though, ladies and gentlemen. I can't knock this. I mean, I don't even know if the Ramirez-Taylor fight's official. Whatever. But if he does go and fight, if Teofimo does go and fights the, you know, winner between Ramirez and Taylor, if they even fight, that's great, too. I mean, that would be cool to watch. But there would be a big, like, you know, unsatisfaction on my part. I don't remember the antonym for satisfaction, unsatisfaction, dissatisfaction, whatever. I wouldn't be satisfied on my part as a fan, you know, real fan of the sport, if he just jumped up and didn't face Haney. Yeah, I would be upset, man. And but yeah, it's just sad. You know, I don't want to conclude this on a sad note, but you know, I just hope the best for Haney. You know, Haney is going to keep fighting. He's going to stay active. So, you know, it is what it is. Haney is he's a real dog. He's going to keep fighting, you know, and he's going to keep fighting the names that they give him. I mean, you see what I'm saying? That's exactly what Bud Crawford said. You know, the fights that they give him. The fight that old Bob gives him. That he has to deal with it. See, man, I don't know, man. What do you guys think? Go ahead and comment, please. I want to hear your opinions. Comment in the comment section. What do you think what's going on here? But I do see this going on with Haney so far. I mean, and I agree with him. I got to conclude with that. I agree with Haney and what he's saying. Fighters are avoiding him. Man. So man, salute to Devin Haney. Salute to his team. Love these guys, man. So we'll see what happens, man. Renee Boxyoung, thank you so much for liking, subscribing, sharing. I appreciate each and every one of you. Stay safe out there, family. Peace out, fam.